What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Many people have been moving to Atlanta, Georgia because of our amazing cost of living here. But if you're thinking about moving to Atlanta, you really need to know some truths about the home values here in Atlanta. Let's go. As always, if you're thinking about moving to Atlanta or you just want to know what it's like to live here, feel free to call or text me, email me anytime. I'm more than happy to help. One of the first things that you should know about the home values here in Atlanta is that while the home values are relatively low here in Atlanta and in the South compared to other parts of the country, something that goes along with that is that many homes here in Metro Atlanta have deferred maintenance. Many times people who come to Atlanta from other parts of the country are surprised by how common it is to see homes with deferred maintenance here. Homes with 20-year-old roofs or lawns and properties that are not taken care of. Siding that may be original to the home built in 1970. It's very common to see these kinds of problems in the homes here in Metro Atlanta. Another very common one is the windows in the homes here. It's not very common for people to change windows in their homes. And so if you're looking at a home built in the 70s or the 80s and they have windows that are original to the home, now you're talking about 50-year-old windows that very often are not nearly as energy efficient as the windows that are made today. Or maybe you might find a home that has flooring from the 70s, 80s, 90s. In the 90s, carpet was super popular. So it's very common to find homes with carpet here. And this kind of deferred maintenance is a big turnoff for many people coming to Atlanta from out of state. And I think that the reason why we have so many homes with deferred maintenance here has to do with the lower home values. In many other parts of the country, when you update the flooring or you change the roof or you change the siding, you kind of recoup that investment in your home value. But because home values are so low here, I don't think it's as common here in the South as it is in other parts of the country to be able to recoup that investment when you make upgrades or do maintenance on your home here. So homes with deferred maintenance is certainly something that you want to watch out for if you're going to be moving to Atlanta. Of course, any home that you purchase, you need to have a home inspection, and ideally the home inspector will find any kinds of problems with the home to help you decide whether or not you want to purchase that home. Yes, cost of living is lower here in Metro Atlanta and average home values are great here compared to other parts of the country, but what goes along with that is lower paying jobs. Traditionally speaking, in Metro Atlanta and in the southern parts of the United States, jobs have always paid lower here than other parts of the US. So those two things seem to go hand in hand with the southern parts of the US and Metro Atlanta. We do have low cost of living, but we also have lower paying jobs here. And I think something that goes along with that is that labor costs are lower. This all kind of goes hand in hand. The average cost to build a home is lower here in Metro Atlanta, which is one of the reasons why homes cost less here. But again, we have lower paying jobs. All of these things are kind of tied together, so certainly some things that you need to consider if you're moving to Metro Atlanta. I think another reason why homes cost less here in Metro Atlanta than other major cities of the US is that in Metro Atlanta, we have lots of space for building, for new construction, for developing new cities. As the city of Atlanta grows and expands, as more and more people move here, it's kind of a growth bubble, and more people are starting to live on the outskirts of Metro Atlanta. Some of the cities that are becoming more and more popular now are cities like Woodstock, Forsyth County, also Ackworth, Georgia. These cities are kind of on the outskirts of Metro Atlanta, and as more people are moving here, those are the cities that are growing more and more because, again, there's plenty of space for new development, new construction. When we compare this to other cities in the US like New York or LA that don't necessarily have more space for being able to develop more homes, construct more homes, you can see why there's more demand for homes, there's more demand for land in those cities like New York or LA. Not so much here in Atlanta. And this is one of the reasons why home values here in Atlanta have not skyrocketed like New York or LA. We still have plenty of space, so there's plenty of room for developing new homes to match the amount of demand for housing. And then another big reason why home values are less here in Metro Atlanta is that building codes are less restrictive here in Metro Atlanta. Because we don't have major natural disasters here like earthquakes, we don't have very strong hurricanes, we rarely have tornadoes. The building codes here in Atlanta are not like other parts of the US where they have earthquakes maybe in California or hurricanes in Miami. Generally speaking, people who come to Metro Atlanta from places like California or Miami where the building codes are much stricter, those people are very often surprised by the construction materials of the homes here in Metro Atlanta. And those less restrictive building codes is certainly a big reason for why the average home value in Metro Atlanta is lower than other parts of the country. Another thing that you should know about home values here in Metro Atlanta is that home values are going up very quickly here in Metro Atlanta. Now, I know that's the case all over the country, but I believe it has happened faster here in Metro Atlanta than other parts of the country. For example, the average home value in Atlanta was in the low threes a couple years ago. Today, 2022, the average home value is about $450 in the city of Atlanta. So a very big difference today compared to a couple years ago. There's certainly a lot of good reasons and bad reasons to live in Metro Atlanta. If you want to know more about what the pros and cons are of living in Atlanta, click on this video. I'll see you there.